I'm standing right here, next to the table where I've performed thousands of diagnostic coronary angiographies, looking inside hearts, leg arteries, the vessels feeding the brain. And here's what still amazes me. I'll have a patient in their 80s, even their 90s, and when I look inside, their arteries are like a teenager's, clean, smooth, not a trace of plaque. What do these people have in common? They never stop moving. Physical activity isn't something they fit into their schedule. It is their schedule. They watch their blood pressure like a hawk. No exceptions. And they've stayed away from the two things that absolutely destroy your vessels: cigarettes and sugar. I've made separate videos about sugar and smoking. Maybe they're linked nearby. Because honestly, this stuff can save your life. But there's one more thing that separates the survivors from everyone else. And it's something you can't measure in a blood test: attitude. The patients who live the longest and stay the sharpest, they don't waste energy blaming the world. They find the good in everything. I've operated on people who, the very next day, are already asking when they can go home, because they've got tomatoes that need watering and grandkids who need them. They're not waiting for life to happen. They're making it happen. There's a European study that found something fascinating. The people who keep their minds sharpest, the longest, are the ones chasing something bigger than themselves. Maybe they're building a collection. Maybe they're doing research. Scientists, for example, stay mentally sharp longer than almost anyone else, because the questions they're exploring won't be answered in their lifetime. Their brains never get permission to coast. And your brain is exactly like a muscle. Stop using it, and it withers. Anyone who's had a cast on their leg knows this. The muscle underneath shrinks because it's not being challenged. Your brain works the same way. Use it or lose it. Here's the minimum you need: a 40 to 45-minute walk every evening. I know that sounds simple, but it's powerful. 10,000 steps a day, proven over and over to slash your risk of heart attack and stroke. But here's what most people don't realize. That evening walk burns off the stress hormones that have been building in your system all day. You flood your body with oxygen, which kicks your metabolism into high gear. You sleep deeper, wake up sharper. Even your nasal passages open up after a walk. Better airflow, better breathing, better sleep. The benefits stack on top of each other. Movement isn't optional. It's medicine. We're living in the worst possible setup for our bodies. We sit at work. We sit in the car. We sit at home. Chronic inactivity plus chronic overeating. That's the formula for diabetes and atherosclerosis. And here's the thing. Atherosclerosis is a rich country disease. You don't see it in rural Africa, where people eat once a day. Whatever falls from the tree, that's dinner. Same near the equator, across parts of Asia. The wealthier the country, the fancier the food culture, the higher the rates of clogged arteries. Because we eat 2, 3, 4 times what our bodies actually need. Our ancestors ate once, maybe twice a day. We graze constantly. Coffee, snacks, pastries, all day long. And cigarettes, they're catastrophic. Listen to this. Half of all heart attack and stroke patients are diabetics. The other half? Smokers. Sure, there are a few who are neither. Maybe 15%. But it's roughly 40% diabetics, 40% smokers, and everyone else is a sliver. Cigarettes assault the walls of your blood vessels every single day, breaking down their integrity bit by bit. Inside your arteries, there's a layer of cells called the endothelium. Think of them like tiles lining the walls. These cells carry a negative electrical charge. Your red blood cells, also negatively charged. So they glide through your vessels on what's basically a magnetic cushion. They repel each other, never touching the walls. Here's how elegant this system is. When a red blood cell squeezes into a tiny capillary that's actually smaller than the cell itself, it rolls up into a little tube. That shape helps it release oxygen more efficiently. and it shoots through that narrow space because the negative charges on both sides are pushing it along, like magnets repelling each other. So what happens to diabetics? Why do their small vessels fail? Their nerves go numb. Their feet lose feeling. Why do some of them not even feel the pain of a heart attack? Because sugar damages the vessel walls. It disrupts that negative charge, destroys the magnetic cushion, and the vessels become inflamed. Inflammation is the enemy. You know how your ESR, your SED rate, goes up when there's inflammation? Most doctors can't even explain why. It's because inflammatory proteins carry a massive positive charge. They steal the negative electrons from your cells and tissues. Your red blood cells lose their charge and start clumping together. The same disaster happens inside your vessel walls. Cigarettes do the same thing. Day after day, smoke after smoke, damaging the vessel wall. So cholesterol rushes in like spackling paste, trying to patch up the damage. Then, new cells grow over the top. Day after day, year after year, these patches build up into large plaques. Eventually, one of them cracks open or gets inflamed. A clot forms. And that's your heart attack. That's your stroke. Cigarettes are a slow-motion catastrophe for your blood vessels. So here's my prescription. Live all the way. Move your body. Spend time with people you love. But cut out the cigarettes and cut down the sugar. Be happy. Subscribe if this helped you. I'm making videos because I want you around for a long time. Drop a comment and tell me what you think. I'll respond when I can. Take care of yourself.